Are you ready for this? It is mystery box time, and I am so excited to let you know that I sent my box over to Val, or better known as Auntie Cuckoo, the queen of Shop With Me in Hauls, and I can't wait to see what she does with everything I sent her. And I'm excited to let you know that I got my box from Tracy over on Charmed by Tracy, and I cannot wait to bust into the box and see what all she sent me. This entire thing is organized by Courtney over on Creative on the Cheap. She gathers a few of us DIY creators so that we can inspire you in a really fun and creative way. Handy dandy box opener, let's bust into this box. Just to give you a little bit of info on this box, there will be 2 challenge items in this box that I have to craft with. And this time, Courtney decided that the twist should be chosen by the person that sends the box. So once I'm in here, I will know exactly what twist I'm gonna have. Oh, Tracy, I hope you were nice to me. Oh, look at all this. I am so excited. I swear everyone packages things so much better than I ever package them. Let's start with a card. Hi, Jennifer. As you go through your box of goodies, please note that I went easy. I'm so grateful. And gave you some things to DIY your home for spring. I'm so excited. I am ready for spring. Challenge items, not so much. You will rock it. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm scared. Okay, the challenge items cannot be worse than the snorkel that Whitney over at Whiskey and Wit sent me. That has to be the worst challenge item. Or was it the diaper from Megan at Glue Guns and Roses? If it's not as bad as those, it'll be okay. All right. Whoa, what's in here? Okay, we have cute little tins, storage container tins. Like, I can definitely do something with these. So of course this set comes with 4, but I only will be using 2 of them, as well as this Dollar Tree tray and some of these Dollar Tree sticks. Now, to adhere everything for this project, I'm going in with Gorilla's construction adhesive because 1, it has a super strong hold, and 2, it's really pretty tacky, so it will enable me to keep things together while it's setting up and drying. So to begin with, you can see that first, I'm using a popsicle stick because my little nozzle was clogged, and the popsicle stick helps me to spread it on there. And I'm just putting the lid or gluing the lid down to 2 of these tins so that they will stay closed. After that, you just want to use a little dollop of glue so that you can secure those tins to the bottom of the tray. Now, again, because it's tacky, they will actually stay there while you're doing it. Then for 2 of those sticks, I am trimming them down because I wanted them to be just over an inch tall or the same height as those little tins, and placing them on the opposite end. If you can't tell, we're creating like a little cart. Actually, we're going to be creating a flower cart, and I'm so excited to show you this. So once this is all set up, then you can move on and do the handles. Again, going in with more of those sticks. You're going to trim down a couple of them and then place them on 2 different sides of that cart, and then take a third one once these 2 set up to go over the handles to create that crossbar. Now for the top of the cart, you're going to take apart clothespins. You're going to need a total of 18 of them, and you're going to use half, so 9 clothespins, 18 halves on one side just by gluing them together. And then you want like a scrap piece of wood. It's about an inch wide, and it's going to be the same length as the tray that we used earlier. Once you have all of your clothespins, they have set, they're dry, they're ready to go, then you can glue them to that center piece. Now this is where it gets a little tricky because you're trying to balance 2 sides on that middle piece, and I found that the easiest way was to use a little hot glue to add some instant adherence. So I did that along with that construction adhesive. And then on the bottom side, I actually went in with more hot glue and used it almost like caulking, but also to help this stay together while that construction adhesive was completely drying. And I just took it down in that center, and then I went back with my finger once it cooled off a little bit and kind of smoothed that out. Because it's on the bottom, you're not going to see it once it's painted, but I still wanted it to look pretty good. Just to be extra cautious, I did use some tape to hold it in place again while that construction adhesive was setting up, so I would keep the shape of the roof that I wanted. Now for the posts that are holding the roof, I just took 2 more of those sticks, I glued those together with that construction adhesive, let it set up, and then I'm going in with some twine right here, wrapping it around that center to cover up where those 2 came together, and using a little hot glue to hold that on. Now you see I used my finger again to go over that hot glue. That way it's still holding, but it's not leaving like a big lump that you can see. Now, I decided to go ahead and paint both the roof and the base of the cart white, and I did leave the sticks their natural color. I thought that would be really pretty. Now, for the tires or the wheels of the cart, I went in with more of a taupey color. This is Sandstone by Waverly, and I think it's such a beautiful color. I used the construction adhesive to attach those poles to the bottom of the cart, and once those were secure, they were dry, then you can go in and add your roof on. Make sure you give that time to set up, and then you have yourself just an absolutely gorgeous flower cart for spring going into summer. But how cute would this be with pumpkins in the fall? You really can use it so many different ways. I just think it is so charming. Let's see. I got some florals. Oh, very spring. Oh, look at the tulips. I love tulips. I'm so excited. And if they're not tulips, don't lie to me. Okay, they all are tulips. I don't necessarily know my flowers, but I was hoping I at least knew these. Tulips to me are like the most spring flower ever, and immediately I knew I needed to make a tulip wreath. Along with the flowers and the ribbon, of course, I grabbed a grapevine wreath, and all you need to do is start off by trimming your tulips apart. Now, I'm going more for it like a swag look. I'm not covering up the entire wreath. So to place them in, I start on one side with them facing down, and I'm just intertwining their stems into the grapevine itself instead of using like hot glue or wire or anything like that. I find this is easier, and when I go to want to reuse the wreath form, it makes it so much easier. So whatever you do to one side, make sure you do it to the other, and you just want to keep going up until it's nice and full. If you happen to have any stems that are sticking out on the back, just curl them right back into that wreath and tuck them in to secure everything down. Here I'm using my mini vacuum to clean it up. If you have not used a mini vacuum yet, you are missing out. Now the finishing touch for this is you're going to want to add a bow. I have an entire video showing you how I like to make my bows. They're really super simple and easy, so make sure you check that out to see how I made this bow. But to secure it, I'm actually just using some twine. I wrap it around and tie a knot, and then I tie another knot up about 1.5 inches, and that is how I hang this up. And I think this turned out beautiful. I absolutely love it for spring. Alrighty, blame Courtney. Okay, this is funny. Yeah, I like her sense of humor. I do blame Courtney, don't you worry. Must work in these elements into one DIY. I have to use wood, metal, and plastic. I have to say, of the 3 options that Courtney actually gave us to pick from, this was my favorite one, so I'm not mad about it. Oh, and here we have 2 fun spring color buffalo check gingham ribbons. I am excited, so excited for spring. Oh, here we have a super cute wooden plaque. Okay, we have, this says 9-piece buckets. So it's 3 buckets with 3 tags and 3 ribbons, therefore 9-piece. Actually, I love these little things, so I'm excited. What is this? Oh, look how cute this welcome is. You got a little pot with a plant and then this little forky, breaky, it's a garden tool. To start off with the sign, I just gave it a quick base coat of some white paint, and once that dried, then I could go in with a little bit more pop of color. I was in the pink and yellow mood for some reason, so those rain boots quickly got a pink coat, and I added a little bit of yellow to that fork garden tool thing. Now, I also needed to use some metal because this is my twist project, and the buckets were perfect for this. So I took my tin snips, I cut that bucket in half, and then I painted it a soft gray color. To give the rain boots a little bit more pop, I went a little tone on tone, added a brighter pink, and to use the bottom of my paintbrush to add some polka dots. Once my tin was dry, it needed a back so I could secure it to the sign. So I'm just using some cardboard. I traced out the shape of the tin, I cut that out, and then I hot glued that straight to the back of that tin. Now, to really make sure it's secure, because the tin's really thick and there's not a whole lot of surface area touching, I did go in with a little bit more hot glue on the inside seam to really make sure that cardboard stayed. And then I added it straight onto that sign where that flower pot is. Using more hot glue to secure the welcome sign straight onto that rectangular sign. I love adding these two together because it really just beefs up the size of the sign. And then finishing touch is to add some floral into that little tin. I picked up some lavender at Walmart. This is like my favorite plant, lavender, and it's under $1 to get this. I did use a little hot glue to make sure that that would stay in the tin. And look how absolutely adorable this sign came together. It is just screaming spring. And look at this. From the crafter section, I also got this little wooden slat sign. Try saying that 10 times each. She sent me a couple of these cute, are they supposed to be houses? Because that's the way they're shaped, but they're kind of like wide. I don't actually know. I guess they could also be sign arrows. I mean, super easy to use, but I'm not really exactly sure what there's. Oh, I have an idea. Like I said, I immediately knew what I needed to do with this or what I wanted to do with this, but I had to head to Dollar Tree first to pick up a couple of pieces of wood to help me with my project. Once I got my wood, it was time for me to cut it down to size. Now, I'm using a bandsaw, but you can, of course, use like a circular saw, a jigsaw, or even a handsaw because the wood is really soft. Now, the length that I'm cutting is the same length as that slat board, and the width matches those arrows, houses, whatever you want to call them. And that is how I came out with my sizing. Now, if you can't tell it, we are making a box, a crate, whatever you want to call this. And so to put it together, all you need is some wood glue to secure it. Now, once I had all the sides glued and put in place, I used some painter's tape just to hold it in that place. Once it was set up and dried, then I could take the sides and attach them to that bottom slat wood to finish out creating that crate. I feel like you can never have too many boxes or crates. I love to use them to display items, to store items. They are so universal and easy, and I love the design of this one. Oh, cute little bird. They have like a ball each. Okay, so this is it's a garland. So let's bust that bad boy open. Okay, box down, birds up. Seriously? Y'all, look how those are cute. Challenge item number 1. Okay, she wasn't really that bad. She sent me a pink and white scarf. Y'all, that's like working with fabric. I'm scared for challenge 2. There are so many fun things that you could do with these little birds, but I did need to incorporate a challenge item, so I went ahead and snipped off a couple of them using some Mod Podge, a thin coat on each bird. I took that pink scarf, laid it carefully on them to make sure I did not have any wrinkles, and then I went over with another layer of Mod Podge, let that completely set up, harden. And then once it was hard, I went in and I trimmed around it to get some pretty decorative little birds. Now you can still see through them. So with that hole, I went ahead and pierced through that scarf, and then taking some wooden beads from Dollar Tree, I tied a bird to each end to create just the cutest little bird spring garland. But to really help them pop, I went back in with a Sharpie and I traced out the eye and where the wings were, and look how adorable these are. I absolutely love them. They are just so whimsical. What are Look at these cute little baby carrots. It's so cute. Why is everything when it's mini just cuter? For this project, not only am I going to use those little carrots, but I'm going to use some twine and these bunnies. But to start off with, I have this little picture frame. I need to remove the beads that are already on there. Then I'm going to paint it the most beautiful color. This paint is by DIY. It's called Farm Fresh. Isn't this gorgeous? Now, when you first put it on, it goes on darker. When it dries, it becomes lighter. And it did take 2 coats to get the coverage that I wanted. Now, I get this from someone local to me. You can also go online and order it. Now, I did need to replace the twine that I took off to do this project. So to do that, I did tie 2 knots on each end of that twine and then secured them down on each side using just a little bit of hot glue. From there, it was time to add the bunnies and the carrots just to create the cutest little picture banner. Perfect for Easter. I absolutely love this. And that Farm Fresh color with those carrots, does that not just look gorgeous? I am definitely in the mood for Easter and spring. Um, she taped it really well, so that's terrifying. No. What am I supposed to do with this? Your phone just whistled at me. Not gonna lie, I really did consider slapping on a little tag that said Dingle Hopper and calling this done, but I knew that wouldn't fly. But if you want to know, it really did make a really nice wide tooth comb. It did a great job combing my hair. So instead, I'm taking a little bit of salt wash and some paint, a 50-50 mixture, and painting this on. It just gives it a really nice texture. Now, anyone that's done like the baking soda thing, it's very similar, but this product is actually meant to do that, and it dries with a much firmer consistency. Now, I absolutely love this texture. I think it is gorgeous, but I want a little bit of a darker color. So I'm going back in with that Farm Fresh that I used earlier. That first color you saw was called Apothecary, which I still think is beautiful. Once this is done, it makes the cutest way to display things by hanging things on here. Now, I just have a really cute and easy, like dried flower look going on, but you really could do like dry flowers or some real garden tools, your gloves, things like that. From the plus section, I got one of these wood rounds. Oh, this will be fun. I absolutely love this wood round. It has a really nice thickness to it, and it's going to make the perfect riser. So here I have a few of these wooden pieces. I picked these up in a package at Hobby Lobby. There's like 8 of them total, 4 of these bigger ones and then like 4 of the smaller ones. I just take 3 of them, I use some wood glue, and I glue them to the bottom of this. And now I have the easiest riser that you can make. And in my opinion, you can never have too many risers. They are great when you're displaying decor or even if you're doing like a serving table. They just come in so handy. What do we have in here? It's the little fairy garden. Look at those little bitty trucks. Oh my gosh. They're so cute and tiny. Mini trucks. No, I guess I don't call them fairy garden. They're just mini trucks. Oh my. For this one, I'm starting off with a couple of jars. I've had these laying around for a while and I wanted to give them a good coat of paint. This is Waverly in Maze. Isn't it a gorgeous bright color? It did take me about 3 or 4 coats to get the coverage that I wanted because I wanted them to be really opaque. But once it dried, then you simply need to take those trucks and just glue them on the lid. It just adds a nice little decor piece. Now, personally, I will be using these jars to hide some candy in plain sight for my children, but you could use them in so many different ways. Oh, these are little wooden flower craft shapes with a little picket fence. Look how cute those are. We have some crafter square fabric. Oh, I love the pink and blue together. That is so pretty. Now for this project, you do want to have a printout of a bunny, or you can freehand it if you can do that. I definitely needed to print one. trim it out. I actually did this on cardstock to give it a little bit more firmness. Then trace that bunny on the back of the fabric. Now, I actually chose to do it twice. So I faced the bunny one way for one, and then I flipped it over because I wanted my bunnies to be opposite for the other bunny, and then trim those out. And then you're going to apply them to a couple of canvases. Here I'm using some 8x10 canvas and some Mod Podge and carefully laying that bunny on top. Once the bunny is down, go over with some more Mod Podge to make sure it's nice and secure. Let that set up. Grab yourself a package of large pom-poms. These came from Dollar Tree. Hot glue those to the bottom of the bunnies to create those cute little bunny tails. And you have yourself a really cute and super easy Easter decor piece. I love these. I think they are darling, and the color of that fabric is just too cute. Spring is just around the corner, and I hope you got so much inspiration today. For more inspiration, make sure you check the playlist that's in the description box. Thank you so much for spending your time with me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.